This man is part of our family, our dysfunctional family. He is a brilliant. Hang on a second. What is this? Sorry, Michael. He has a. What is the oeuvre? Was your kind of your work?
Sure.
Yeah. The breadth of your work includes the subtitled Korean films, the French-speaking series that shows up on some obscure streaming service. You've got BritBox, Apple TV, Netflix, Amazon, the theater, the indie movie, the studio movie, the franchise films, the new Wicked franchise. It all is stuff that he is an expert on. He's not just a passing fan. He comes and goes on a rainbow. He is the culture blaster, Michael Snyder.
Mark, may I be the last to welcome you back from Colombia?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And
I mean,
in fact,
gracias, as we say.
This
Colombia.
wonderful cup of Coachella Valley coffee
Pretty great.
that I'm sipping is in it's Colombia, not Columbia
Yes,
cup.
we do have that.
I do.
Yes,
It's great coffee.
Yeah.
Put that coffee down.
Mark,
Okay,
Mark,
yeah.
I've seen the video, and yes, Trumpy did call that woman reporter Piggy,
Yeah.
but it's a term of endearment to
I
him.
see.
In fact, Piggy was Jeffrey Epstein's nickname for Donald. I mean, have you seen the guy?
see.
POTUS? More like Blotus, am I right? Am I
Oh,
right?
come on. How about it? Yeah,
Anyway.
jumping on board.
Dude, I'm kind of revved up. It's my birthday tomorrow, and there's going to be all kinds of cool things going on. I'm in Los Angeles at the moment, so I'm excited. My pals in the Flamin' Groovies and Tom Kenny and the High Seas are doing a double bill at the Whiskey Saturday night.
Oh, that's super cool.
There are 3 art openings, KP Projects, Corey Helford Gallery, and Super Chief, where my pal Parker Day has a piece. And I'm going to try to end the evening at the Constellation Club at the Formosa. It is a big
You are
birthday blowout.
unbelievable. Wow. How old do you feel? I don't want to know how old you are. How old do you feel,
I feel
Michael?
like about 35 because I'm in that sweet spot, continuing to remain in that sweet spot where, you can hang with the kids and then groove with the elders. And
Yeah, you are. You're the culture blaster. You're able to do that. Yeah.
It feels good. And what also feels good?
No.
Bringing the word on popular culture to the audience at the Mark Thompson Show and beyond. And do you think we should get revved up here?
We're in better shape, but I don't think we're in wildly better shape.
Let's
Okay,
start.
fine. So I'm not saying that the big screen musical Wicked for Good is critic proof. Yeah, wait a minute. That's exactly what I'm saying. Audiences seem to love the first half of this, which was called Wicked Part 1. And it adapted the front end of the hit Broadway show Wicked, which was based on a novel that was a revisionist look at L. Frank Baum's fantasy classic, The Wizard of Oz. These fans of Wicked Part 1, I call them wikis. They're probably going to lap up Part 2, and they've been waiting long enough. I mean, it's been an entire year since Wicked Part 1 was released. Even though that introduction to the early years of Glinda the Good Witch and Elphaba the Wicked Witch and their youthful friendship featured 2 good songs written by Stephen Schwartz for the original show, Popular and Defying Gravity, with his lesser tunes left over for Part 2, people are just going to want to see how things go. They're hooked. They're in. They've been there.
Sure.
They've been waiting 12 long months. Okay, and to paraphrase the late Paul Harvey, now they'll know the rest of the story. In Wicked for Good, Glinda and Elphaba are played and sung again by the talented Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And, they're committed to the material. And wow, can they sing. Ariana is the blonde, pink-adorned, spunky Glinda. She's magic challenged, but propped up as the smiling embodiment of goodness in Oz. And Elphaba is, of course, played by Cynthia. Elphaba is the green-skinned, black-clad, pointy hat-wearing, put-upon witch, painted by the powers that be as evil personified when she just wants to defend the downtrodden. It's a sad situation. I mean, she's a kind of an animal rights activist. All the animals are being mistreated.
Oh,
I know who you're going to be rooting for if you see this movie, Mark.
All right.
Anyway, manipulated by the power-hungry wizard, played by Jeff Goldblum, and the scheming, magically skilled Madame Morrible, played by the great Michelle Yeoh, Glinda and Elphaba are on an inevitable collision course and old comrades are caught up in the conflict, especially the handsome Prince Fiyero, who is engaged to Glinda but secretly yearns for Elphaba. Speaking of social notes, the prince is played by Jonathan Bailey, who just happens to be People Magazine's 2025 sexiest man alive. But I digress into TMZ territory. I shouldn't have even gone there, buddy. Anyway, you know that sooner or later a farmhouse from Kansas with a pigtailed girl inside is going to tumble into Oz and throw the kingdom's balance of power into even greater turmoil. A Tin Woodsman, a Scarecrow, and a lion will appear, but how and why? These questions and a few others about Elphaba's sister, the Munchkins, the provenance of flying monkeys, they'll all be answered to some extent and to a modicum of satisfaction. Look, Wicked for Good is gorgeous to look at. Like the first part, it's an astonishing mix of kind of jaw-dropping Art Deco design with the Emerald City and the sprawling Oz countryside echoing the candy burst colors and the architecture of the beloved 1939 MGM film, The Wizard of Oz. John M. Chu, who was responsible for the better movie, Crazy Rich Asians, I love that, and the better film musical, In the Heights, directed for good as he did part one. It's from a screenplay written by Winnie Holzman, who wrote the book of the stage version, co-written also by Dana Fox. I mean, Holzman, creator of My So-Called Life on TV, she knew what she was doing with the material. So she's culpable. It kind of leans on well-meaning thematic aspects of the story, like embracing inclusiveness, loyalty, again, animal rights, and being true to your better nature. And it does its best to stick the landing, but at a 2-movie total of almost 5 hours, it feels padded out. I just want to wrap by saying Wicked 1 and 2 combined serves as a prime example, for better or worse, of our cannibalistic culture. It's chock-a-block with homages, tributes, remakes, and reinventions, and it kind of leaves me hungry for something new,
Yeah, this is interesting that you draw it in that way at the end, that you draw it together to sort of suggest that's what we've become, sort of a franchise-oriented, how can we squeeze this bigger, better, merchandisable kind of thing.
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
even as you kind of love on it, you point to the fact that, there's just not enough here really for 2 movies.
Yeah, it's really pretty glorious to look at. I just felt dissatisfied. Hey, speaking of hungry, Ariana Grande, you so skinny. You look like anorexia grande. I mean, how does such a big voice come out of such a tiny body? I mean,
She's so talented.
Eat a sandwich, though, Ariana. Come
How
on.
dare you? I don't criticize the way somebody's physical appearance
I
is.
worry about her, but
I see, okay.
She looks like she's going to be blown away by a tornado. It's a very Oz thing.
Is there another tornado, or there's the original tornado in this one, right?
Well, there's a reason for the tornado that's explained in the movie, but it's all in theaters. If it's your jam, fine. I went with my buddy Jill, and she loves this stuff. And of course, I was carried along with her.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, the more I reflected on it, the more I thought, like, this just too much.
What else do you have for us, Culture Blaster?
I have a movie I can be unabashedly excited about, Mark. This is one of my favorite films of the year. I don't always say this, so be advised. Rental Family truly impressed me. It is a lovely mix of human comedy and poignant drama, and it's anchored by a fine-tuned, sweet-natured performance by Brendan Fraser. He plays Philip, a struggling, somewhat depressed American actor who has decided to make a life for himself in Tokyo. So living on his own in the sprawling Japanese city, he's scrambling for any gig possible. We've seen a lot of commercials with American actors and whatever. There's use for an American actor in the Japanese media. So the most high-profile job he's managed to get is as a cavity-fighting superhero in a toothpaste ad. That's his biggest gig. And some people will yell out the catchphrase to the guy when they see him on the street.
Oh, that's funny.
But he agrees to sign on with a rental family talent agency that provides clients with actors who play stand-ins for real people in their lives or in the lives of their loved ones. So this company provides hired attendees at a funeral. In one case, he plays a fake journalist to lift the spirits of an elderly man. And he's even tabbed to play a substitute father. And you'd have to see the movie to get the nuance there. But Philip starts becoming attached to the people he's performing for. And this creates issues for himself and for the agency he's working for. And it forces him to reevaluate his place in the world and the choices he makes. The result is one of the most uplifting and emotionally gratifying movies I've seen in a while. I loved Rental Family, which was co-written and directed by the single monikered Hikari. Man, I hope it finds a wide audience. It is in theaters starting today.
Is this a real thing in Japan? It's being asked in the chat.
I assume so. It sounds like the kind of thing that Japanese culture would embrace,
Yeah,
Google it.
okay.
Yeah, thank you for that. By the way, the Japanese supporting cast, absolutely wonderful. In particular, Takahiro Hira as the boss of this rental family agency who begins to have some issues with Fraser's Philip character.
Let me just handle this troll.
Okay.
I called out the body shaming, okay, Devin? So how dare you, Devin? You owe me an apology.
I am worried about Ariana.
I mean,
Would you like to apologize for what you've done?
Devin, you should apologize to me, and until you apologize, I am pulling this car over. You heard me.
Wow.
I am really, how dare they?
What a tempest I've initiated. I apologize too, just on general
I
principles.
stand corrected.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, move on, please.
Sisu, Road to Revenge, is a sequel even more violent and insane than its berserk predecessor, Sisu, the unexpected hit action thriller from Finland. In that movie, the first of the two films, an ex-commando turned prospector comes into conflict with retreating Nazis during the last days of World War II.
All right, you talked about this first film on the show.
I totally love this film. It's nuts. Anyway, the Nazis take this guy's gold, and he is determined to get it back and punish those who would take what's his, and boy, does he. So, Road to Revenge was written and directed by the Sisu filmmaker Jalmari Helander, and it features returning star Jorma Tomila as the angriest old guy you never wanted to piss off. And thus, we're in good hands. In the sequel, our grizzled, seemingly indestructible hero is on a mission to relocate his home, which was on Finnish land, annexed by the Soviet Union at the end of World War II. So now they're the bad guys. And shades of Ukraine, right? The annexing of a part of Finland.
Sure.
So our hero sneaks across the border to disassemble the house where his wife and children were murdered by Soviet soldiers. And then he heads back to Finland after loading the wood on a truck. And apparently he took out a veritable regiment of Soviet soldiers, I guess off screen, while they were in the process of acquiring the Finnish land. So a sadistic Soviet officer played by Avatar villain Stephen Land, is tasked with capturing and torturing the man before he can get back to his new homestead, which is all pretty Putin-esque. I wouldn't have been surprised if they tried to throw him out of a fourth-story window. Anyway, the Reds don't reckon with this guy, so adept at slaughtering any bad guys in his path. He's kind of like the Energizer Bunny of death. He just keeps killing and killing and killing, and it gets actually pretty comical in a Mad Max way. If you suspend your disbelief, and I did, Sisu Road to Revenge is an absolute hoot. 90 minutes of cartoon-level violence porn. I rolled with every disposable second of it, and don't judge me. I'll admit it was cathartic to see the Soviets get what was coming to them. Sisu Road to Revenge is in theaters.
Wow. All right, a lot going on there. Now, I just understand, they're prospectors and commandos that turn Nazi, or they're turned on the Nazis?
No, he is a former commando and a prospector, and the Nazis see he has all this gold as they're retreating out of Finland and over the border at the end of World War II, and they decide to grab the gold. It's kind of...
I get it. I get it.
Pillaging. They're pillaging.
But then he turns on the Nazis.
Yeah, he does. That's in the first film. In the second film, there's already a new border between Finland and the Soviet Union.
I see, sure.
And the Soviets have been wreaking havoc. So we see where they're going over the next
That's
20,
why you say
30,
the Soviets
years.
get their comeuppance. Okay, go ahead with your next one. Oh, great,
okay,
culture
I
buster.
want to soften things up again. Like Rental Family, I have two movies to wrap things up on the movie front that are lovely and humane. One of the most achingly beautiful and the tenderest films I've seen in quite a while. Train Dreams is the perfect antidote for noisy blockbuster overload. It's an intimate, finely wrought portrait of one unpretentious person's life and times. Joel Edgerton, he's like letter perfect, and he'll break your heart as Robert Granier, a simple, decent man in the rustic Pacific Northwest of the early 20th century, working as a lumberjack while his wife and baby daughter wait in the cozy family cabin for his return at the end of every job he takes. And Edgerton has the lion's share of screen time, and he delivers a richly felt, still waters run deep performance that cements his status in the upper echelon of the acting profession. Felicity Jones plays his steadfast wife Gladys with quiet strength. William H. Macy, man, he's all over the place these days. He is comfortable as a well-worn pair of boots playing a wise elder lumberjack. Kerry Condon makes an appearance as an able philosophical ex-nurse turned forest ranger. This character of Robert loves Gladys and their little kid, Katie, and he's trying to do the very best he can for them, regardless of the struggle, the danger, and the separation he has to endure when he's miles away in some lush forest, chopping down tree after tree. But loss and tragedy will upend his plans for the future, and he has to somehow cope with the changes. Co-written and directed by Clint Bradley, Train Dreams has a certain reserve and an austere poetry to it. It's lovely to look at.
Wow.
And despite its meditative quality, it really lands hard as it ends. Highly recommended. It's in select theaters. Oh, wait, it's also now streaming on Netflix as of this week. So you can just watch this thing at home.
All right. I love it. Michael, you've got that. Those are two definite winners that you've served up.
Rental Family and Train Dreams.
Yes.
One more winner, and we'll
please.
wrap up.
Well,
it's
you.
called Rebuilding, and it is a little movie about
right.
big challenges as a wildfire devastates homes and acreage in modern-day Colorado, and a divorced rancher named Dusty, who has seen the ancestral family house and lands go up in smoke, needs to find a way forward while holding on to the bond he has with his precocious young daughter, Callie Rose, and kind of staying civil with his ex, Ruby, who shares custody of the girl. Dusty is played by UK actor Josh O'Connor, seamlessly playing American, and he brings a stoicism and a nobility to the part, while his daughter is played by the adorable Lily Latour in natural and unfussy fashion, and his ex is played adeptly by Megan Fahey, this is a very different kind of turn for her. She's wonderful, and his mother-in-law is played by Amy Madigan, whose career has received a much-deserved bounce from her now iconic over-the-top turn in the elevated horror movie Weapons. Boy, Amy Madigan, you are versatile. And like Train Dreams, this is a movie about surviving strife with grace, but it's also about finding strength in community. It's written and directed by Max Walker Silverman. Rebuilding is both refreshing and inspiring. It is in select theaters.
Wow. Michael seemed to like that too.
I thought it was damn good, buddy.
Wow. You've really done it, Culture Blaster. I don't believe normally it's kind of 50-50. In this case, you have really recommended a few winners.
Yeah.
We'll start with Rebuilding, the one that you just mentioned, written and directed by Max Walker Silverman, Josh O'Connor, Lily Latour, is that how she says her name?
Latour, I think.
And Megan Fahey, and Amy Madigan. He's mad about Amy Madigan.
Well, if you saw her in Weapons, which you should, it's really, I know you don't like horror, but boy, oh boy, what an iconic performance that is.
I have a soft heart, and I don't like horror. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, I figured.
But Rebuilding, he recommends it's in theaters. Train Dreams is the Joel Edgerton project. He says that it is done with grace. It is done with a deft. It is done with a touching quality that stays with you. You really like Train Dreams, didn't you, Culture Blaster?
I did. 3 of the movies today I can unabashedly recommend to any audiences. The Sisu film is a little... Anyway.
Train Dreams is in theaters.
And on Netflix.
Sisu, Road to Revenge, about the ex-commando and prospector who now takes on the Soviets.
It appeals to my dark side.
It's wall-to-wall cartoon violence.
Carnage!
If that's for you, you can find it in theaters. Rental Family is the one he was also over the moon for. The Brendan Fraser project is a mix of human comedy and family drama, says the Culture Blaster.
Yeah, poignant moments.
I'm excited to see it. It's the rental family that Brendan Fraser is part of as an American in Japan. And Michael was very touched by it and said, you will be too.
I left the screening with a bunch of my hard-boiled critic friends, and we were all profoundly moved by this film.
Wow. Rental Family is in theaters. And then we started with Wicked for Good. It's the sequel to the original Wicked, which was this 3-hour pastiche of color and plot based on the novel, which was based on the riffing off the original story from L. Frank Baum.
Yep.
The first one at 3 hours was enough to keep me awake.
Yeah, 2 hours and 45 minutes. And
This one is 2 hours,
2
right?
hours and 15. I'm telling you, the total is about 5 hours of,
Michael
we're off
says
to see the wizard.
there's not enough here for 2 movies, but it is a gorgeous film. He said it's elegantly done, but it's just there at some point you're just running out of road.
Yeah, and Erivo and Grande are so talented. Cynthia Erivo was one of the most purely talented performers in any aspect of the arts these days. She I can't say enough good about her. I just, I'm looking forward to whatever she does next.
Pastiche is a ding word. I agree.
What?
One quick note.
yeah.
Quick note for streaming lovers and for music lovers: the Beatles anthology, which came out in 1995, a Fab Four approved documentary series, is back and basically polished and rejuvenated by Peter Jackson and the same crew that did the wonderful Get Back documentary series.
Oh, sure.
And they've added a new heretofore on the scene episode about the making of the original series in the 90s and the making of the last Beatle tracks to be released, which were song demos by the late John Lennon that Paul, George, and Ringo finished. If you're a Beatles fan, it is hog heaven.
That well never runs dry, that Beatles well.
No, it
does
doesn't. It's on Disney Plus. I just wanted to throw in a little TV stuff for you
Yeah,
guys.
I love it. He is out there with the written word, thevoicesf.org, if you want to read the writings and musings of Michael Snyder. He doesn't just comment on music and film. He is out there with reflections. Thevoicesf.org. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Bye-bye, Michael.
Hey, go Niners. Monday night versus Carolina.
Oh, that's right. They are favored by almost a touchdown.